Hey guys, welcome to episode 14 of Nerdosophical. I'm Sam.
I'm Casey.
I'm the Ginger.
I'm Methuselah.
I'm Brady.
And this week we are discussing
Everything.
Everything.
Nerddom.
I'm going to pass it over to
Everything
Methuselah to
Nerddom.
explain.
It's Geek Fights.
Yes. This is the first ever Nerddom Fights, where many fandoms will collide.
Bound
Tears
to
may
get
be
heated.
shed, shields will be splintered, and all kinds of other things you can think of. Insert them here.
Souls.
We have a Ginger, so that's possible.
It's good to have you back. We missed you last week.
Oh,
At least mine's safe. It's already gone.
Yeah,
you know
it's not
what?
safe because you don't have one. You already traded it away.
It's in some vault somewhere.
I mean, you can't lose it again,
In
so
Gingerland.
at least you know
It's a
that.
vault in Gingerland somewhere. Someone's got it. It's gotta be somewhere. Just don't currently know where it's
Fairly
at.
certain the ginger hasn't eaten it yet, so
Now he's got to save it for nefarious purposes,
It was wonderful.
like Palpatine style,
Palpatine style. I got a couple of clones on
or Plagueis style.
Plagueis.
Oh. Did I ever tell you about my student who let me steal their soul?
Yes, so that they could turn something in
They
late.
turned in their papers late.
They should have got something way better for their soul than handle that.
I took the soul and said, "You go for it."
That's
Too tough. Too
so
tough
awesome.
to pass. Pass on.
It's too tempting. Like, yeah, I'm taking your soul.
Oh my. Alright, so we're gonna do. We'll see how many rounds this lasts. If a tiebreaker is needed, it might go a little longer, but
Round
basically,
one.
yeah, you all can just figure out the format as we go along. It's not super complicated. I don't think I really need to explain it to the listeners. You'll figure it out.
It'll be a little more refined as we go along.
So without any further ado, we will get started.
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya? Punks. Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. Let's do this. Spartans, be your breakfast and be hot. But tonight, we dine in hell! Do you bleed? You will.
That's fantastic.
I love it! Oh! Thank you, Brock. You're amazing. You've made my life
This is
better.
why we love this.
That took
Oh, yeah.
way too long to add, but it was worth it.
Tonight, we dine.
You will. Is that RoboCop Batman?
You will.
Or what I call RoboCop Batman?
Yes, it's from the Batman
Batfleck.
Superman trailer. Yeah, the
Yes.
Batfleck.
Batfleck.
Oh, man.
Pick a number.
alright.
Alright. Drawing
Choose
numbers.
wisely.
Trying to grab me one.
Oh,
Sure.
no. Alright, so we each drew a number.
Can I go first?
Sure.
I got number 8.
All right. Number 8.
Would you? What?
Oh, no sound on the screen.
No,
No.
Lame.
only for my eyes to see. All right. This is a team up one.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
How do you want to do the teams?
The 3 against the 2.
Oh, I'm not playing.
Oh.
I'm the officiator.
Brayden, let's take him down.
He's not even paying attention. He's working on a little model over there.
But he is a good comic resource. You two will fall on your faces.
We probably will.
What makes you think
Okay.
it's comic?
Hey.
Brock?
That's true. It's all right. This is question 8. 2 films are on TV: Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier. Which do I watch?
Is that which do you as Methuselah watch? 'Cause I
No,
don't
just,
really-
like, just in general, like, which one
He's
is
the
better
judge.
to watch?
Like,
But
no.
yes, I am the judge. Although I will do my best to remain unbiased
So we're doing this
and
debate
judge
style
only
or
on the opinions.
we're
You
doing
know, I'm now happy that I also chose Braden because he lives with Methuselah and he has the insight to say which one of these two movies is his favorite. I kind of have my impressions of which one would probably be his favorite too,
Start thinking.
but you know, I think we can win this.
I think you guys can win this too.
You,
Yes!
you two,
We've already
You should
destroyed
have
their
more faith in
confidence.
yourself.
you
I have
two
no
will,
faith in myself against you.
you two will start. You get,
I would get Justin.
We start?
yeah.
Wait. So which movie are we picking?
You get 3 minutes.
America.
Captain America?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll let you take
Okay, Captain America Winter Soldier.
Why?
Why?
Why is it the better film?
I don't know if it's the better film, but
Or why do you,
Why do you
pick
watch it over-
Why did you pick that?
because I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy countless times already. But I pick it because I know you love that specific one. I mean, you did go out and make a whole Bucky costume, and you've improved it multiple times since you have made it.
It's true.
I feel like this movie has a lot more to offer than Guardians of the Galaxy does. Sure, I believe that Guardians of the Galaxy has the comic humor, it has the ability to entertain someone. But really, if you're looking at the cinematography and you're looking at the character development and you're looking at the individual progression throughout that movie, I think it does a lot more for the viewer to say, oh, this was a really good movie, rather than just, haha, that was interesting, who are these characters I don't even understand at all. I mean, you get introduced to them and they're one-dimensional comedic relief kind of characters. Whereas you get into Captain America and they don't have to worry about setting up any kind of a character, so they can go right into, oh, well, guess what? You knew that Bucky died, but now you have to see this whole progression as he's coming back and being reintroduced to the world. You get to see how Cap is reacting to finding out that his long-lost best friend is alive and actually has to fight against him. You get to see all of this develop in a climate where people are no longer trusting the government, where S.H.I.E.L.D. has destroyed their ability to be trusted by anyone. And so that's all happening. Hydra's coming out of the woodworks because of everything that's been set up by other movies. You have helicarriers showing up. You got all this stuff going on. Great action scenes for every kind of guy to watch. But at the same time, it still maintains itself grounded in introducing new people into the story as well. So I think as far as movies go, I think that Captain America Winter Soldier would rank higher on the, like,
30
whatever
seconds.
scale.
Well, that and let's just face it, it's not an origin story. I'm kind of sick of origin movies.
We've seen, like, what, how many? 15 origin stories in, like, the last
Oh,
5
yeah.
years?
Well, Guardians isn't an origin story in the traditional sense, it's more of an origin of the group forming, but Captain America just helps you learn more about the character in comparison, where Guardians you're still like, wait a second, who exactly is Peter Quill? Like, he's just some kid that got abducted? Like, it doesn't make much sense.
Townsend. Your turn.
I'm letting Casey
Okay.
take over on this one.
You'll help me too.
I did not choose wisely.
So, I choose to watch Guardians of the Galaxy over Captain America Winter Soldier because I personally think that the characters do have depth to them. I think for the short time that you do, or that you are introduced to each one in exposition, I think you become attached and you love those characters. I mean, who doesn't love Groot? He says one line the whole movie, but he's still, you hear everyone say, I am Groot, I am Groot. You have the classic throwback, the first couple scenes, you have him with his little, not cassette player, but
A Walkman.
his Walkman. You have, so it appeals to not only the new comic book, like our age, you know, early adult, you know, adolescents, but you have, you know, even like some of the parents, you know, that love that and that can actually get their attention. You know, you have the setup with Peter Peter Quill or Star-Lord in the beginning, you kind of understand why he is, or how he becomes who he is. And for being a standalone film, I think most people had very low expectations for Guardians of the Galaxy coming in.
Wasn't it like the joke of the comic world?
It basically, yeah, it's almost like a sore eye almost, and I personally didn't even want to see it that much, but I could never have been more glad that I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was, by many standards, I think one of the top 3 Marvel movies thus far. So,
There you go.
and I think it's tied in really well with the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It kind of transitioned into the new, because it's the last Marvel film before the Age of Ultron. I think it was a nice little setup, and it kind of made you want to have more. Like, you wanted a sequel. Whereas a lot of those other standalone films, like, do I want to see an Ant-Man 2? Maybe. You know, do I want to see, I don't know. For me, like, I think I'd want to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it's coming.
That is. Alright, you get one last minute
For like
Just
rebuttals?
closing
Oh,
remarks.
Okay.
Anything you want to say in the last one?
So, Guardians of the Galaxy was probably one of the better movies that Marvel's made, but it's also the same movie that they've made each and every time. Like, they didn't change up enough to make it stand out. Specifically to me, it was hilarious, but you have that in all of the Iron Man movies. You had action in it, you had that in all the Captain America movies. So it wasn't anything special, but it was entertaining. Whereas Captain America, you're introducing somebody who more than likely will become the next Captain America in the next coming movies. And you gotta find out about his backstory, who he is, and why he is the way he is. Sorry, I stole the entire time.
Okay.
It's okay. I didn't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say that the reason I watch Guardians of the Galaxy, the reason I pick that is what it is. It's a standalone film. You don't need to have seen. If I pick Winter Soldier and I haven't seen the first Captain America, how do I know what's going on?
I
know some of these characters. I know that Captain America is the one with the shield. I may not know who Bucky is. I may not know who, Agent Carter is it?
Yeah.
I may not know who she is. Guardians of the Galaxy, you don't have to see any of the other standalone films because you're being introduced to all these characters. And I think, honestly, like I said, I think their development was great. And I think for kind of just putting it all together, and Marvel really took a risk, I think, but it paid off. So I think for most casual fans that just may not want all the backstory, or may not have seen the previous ones, I think it's good.
This is tough. This is really tough.
Can I just say
They're both good movies. Really good movies.
that I have not seen Captain America Winter Soldier in like over a year. And if I were to redo this, I would have definitely picked Guardians of the Galaxy, because I know that movie, and I'm like, oh, well, based on the framing of the question, this would be the one I would have argued and whatnot. So I'm just like, just so you know, I backed my teammate, and I hope that we did okay. But
I think both sides did quite well. It's making it very difficult to decide. There's lots of good points that were brought up on both sides, but I kind of felt like Casey's final argument slightly tipped it over the edge, with his film standing on its own feet and kind of taking stuff in a different direction than lots of previous Marvel films. When you look at it, it's really unlike most other Marvel films. It's pretty much a space opera.
I think that I do want to give a little concession. I do think Captain America: Winter Soldier was the best sequel, one of the best sequels I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it was.
And it's
Probably, I think it's the best Marvel sequel so
great.
far. Easily. Films were both amazing, and I enjoy them both thoroughly. But I try not to let my own opinions influence my answers as much as possible.
trying to remain unbiased.
Which is impossible, but I'm doing the best that I
I was
possibly
gonna say, those are two films you really love.
Oh yeah, I saw both of them over 4 times in theater.
It's crazy.
We drove back from Utah so we could see the
Yeah, the
15-minute
15-minute
show.
preview of
Really?
Guardians of the Galaxy in the
Guardians.
IMAX. Yes. All right, we'll go with Casey's
Yep.
question.
And I'll go over to the phone, guys. I will miss my Nerdosophical viewers, but I gotta go home. Sorry. Have fun, guys.
Will
Yes.
do.
Later.
I'll steal your soul another night.
All right.
Oh, chickens. Graphics.
Number
Oh, so my apologies. I have 22.
22.
Feeling 22.
This is open. That's
No.
exactly what I was thinking. This is an open-ended one, so this is for all 3 of you to answer.
Okay.
This is, which hero do you think deserves the Netflix Marvel TV show treatment? We saw recently with Daredevil, and we'll soon see again with Jessica Jones in a couple weeks.
Wait, you said Marvel or?
It doesn't have to necessarily be Marvel.
Okay.
Just a Netflix TV show.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about that. Ginger, do you want to start with this? No.
Braden, you have one?
I don't watch much
Sure.
TV.
I got one. It's
Alright, we'll start with you then.
It's along the same lines as the Daredevil concept, but Nightwing.
I just thought of him.
Batman had amazing movies. Why not throw in little Nightwing, some older Robin action? He's an interesting enough character because he's got a huge backstory. They could start off with him leaving or even still being trained by Batman and continue from there. And they'd have plenty to talk about. He's his own superhero after he leaves Batman. He does his own things, got his own ethics. He has awesome fights.
Yeah.
The way he handles crime is similar to Batman, but completely different. And
I love his staffs that he
yeah,
uses.
the little
Or is that, I don't know what they're called.
like little beat sticks.
Yeah.
Screws mustache.
Police batons.
So I would love to see a Nightwing. It's again in the same vein as the Netflix, and it's a minor character. It's not a huge one that everybody knows about,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they could do a really good job with Nightwing.
Nightwing's pretty awesome. Who wants to go next? You ready, Ginger? No? Alright, Casey.
I can't think of one, to be honest. I would have chose someone from the DC universe, but Gotham I feel like kind of is with the Penguin and some of these villains. They're really kind of giving them their own backstory, isn't it? I haven't really watched Gotham other than like one episode, but
Yeah, it's gotten into a few people. It hasn't done really a ton.
so I guess I'd have to narrow it down to villains. I don't
There's
know.
lots of good villains out there.
I personally am intrigued by Ra's al Ghul, so I think some kind of backstory to him and the whole Lazarus pit, and
Yes.
I think that would be cool. I don't know if it would work. I don't know if it's necessarily a viable show. Because Ra's al Ghul, I never really knew about Ra's al Ghul until obviously Batman Begins. But I think there's a lot to him, and he's obviously a huge force, I'm sure, in a lot of the comics. I don't read the comics, and he's obviously, you see in The Dark Knight Rises, it kind of comes full circle, how, you know, Bane was just kind of the pawn, you know, to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's destiny. So, I mean, I think I would love to learn more about him. I think a show like that would at least intrigue me, if not some other
Tell me more
viewers.
backstory.
Yeah.
Someone who's been around for almost centuries.
Yeah. And he's basically revived. He's what? He's basically invincible, right? I mean, more, not invincible, but he's
Immortal.
immortal.
Combat, almost. Yeah.
Almost.
And he can die, but yeah, it's fairly difficult.
Yeah. Plus, I think if they were to get Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul in a spin-off series, that'd be fantastic. Because Liam Neeson, as our viewers probably remember from The Phantom Menace, is why I love Qui-Gon Jinn so much.
He's
I
pretty
digress.
amazing.
Yeah.
Alright. You're up, Ginger.
This is a really hard question.
It is.
And part of the reason that it is so hard is that there's just so many people to pick from.
Yes. Now the
And then there's
choices are
also like
vast.
people like, okay, would this completely flop? And well, have they done this too much? Have they overdone it? Have they not done any of it so no one would have any idea who it is? And so I think what I'm actually going to go with is they need to do an X-Men Netflix show. Live action, not animated, but like live action kind of a show. And maybe you do something more along the lines of Magneto setting up the Brotherhood, or you do Xavier getting his school set up. Or maybe you go with the two different timelines, like after everything's been set up and they're battling it all out with the X-Men and whatnot, and then back in the days of the recruitment, you can flash forward and back and all this stuff. Centered around anyone in particular, I mean, it would be easy to do it around Magneto, it would be easy to do it around Professor X. But I think that we're in a good place right now with the X-Men having now deleted everything that has ever happened through Days of Future Past to open up whole new timelines. And I would love to see them get the ability to show that they can do something not horrendously, which I think they were able to start into with this Days of Future Past. And I think that X-Men has proved itself to be very successful in the past. It's been able to be marketed as a television show, and there's people who are always going back to it. Now, obviously, you're not going to have a lot of the budgets like Blink's teleportation from the movie, but you have a lot of mutant powers that can be really interesting. You can actually deal with a lot of social issues that are current in our day, and we can say that this is relevant to individual people. You can say, okay, well, this is what we want to do, and you can go in any direction with it. You don't have to stay in a certain city or have to follow any kind of a trope line. You could come up with a brand new mutant and follow their path throughout a whole series and how that affects everything and what's going on like that. I think that they would be able to make a lot of success on the silver screen and not necessarily on the big screen, that they have been kind of known to flop hard on. And I think that as they went and think about the X-Men movies, I think you can say, well, there's the three awful ones, there's Days of Future Past, and there's like 1.5 billion Wolverine movies. So how about we introduce some new characters? How about we expand the dynamic a little bit?
Yeah, X-Men Origins Wolverine is what ultimately did me in. I never watched another one since.
Oh, you missed the best one then.
Yeah. So I hear. I'm just very cautious to get back into the X-Men franchise. Supposedly they have plans for more
Apocalypse.
films.
Yeah, next summer, I believe.
I'm excited for that one too.
Is Fox still on the rights to
Yep.
X-Men?
Yeah, they haven't given those up.
They probably
I don't
won't.
think they will.
Yeah.
Because it makes money every time.
Oodles of money that the last one.
They were smart with Spider-Man, but not. Oh no, that's Sony. Sorry. Never mind.
No,
Sony.
Sony finally gave up.
Yeah.
Ready for your rebuttal minute?
Who did you choose again?
I chose Ra's al Okay. I chose Ra's al Ghul.
Cool. Alright, I'm ready then. So, Ra's al Ghul, I think, is pretty well covered between the Batman movies and then a full season and a half on Arrow. He's very interesting, but he's just an assassin that lives forever and owns an organization. He's probably one of the better villains, but if you go into who he actually feuds with, it's very limited. So you just have a lot of Ra's al Ghul versus either really minor people or Batman. And then if you go into Nightwing, you've got the whole slew of Batman villains, his own villains, the petty crime. They could go into the Gotham type thing and have him just fighting average crimes. X-Men, great choice, but there's so many movies, so many cartoons, like something new.
Casey?
I don't know how to respond to that. I did not know he was on Arrow. No, I chose.
I didn't either.
I watched the
Sorry,
first season of
spoiler
Arrow
alert.
too, so he must have been in a later
Yeah, he
season.
doesn't come until a bit later.
Season-
It's like end of season 2.
Well, I chose Ra's al. I don't know. I chose him just because I guess it's kind of like Tyler and his obsession with Palpatine and that huge, like that main villain, like that kind of at the core of it all. I don't know much about Nightwing. I don't know. To me, it just him, Robin. I guess I've watched a lot of Batman, you know, like the animated series or whether it's the films. I don't know if I need more than Batman, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I don't really have a rebuttal, I guess. It's more my personal preference. I just like Batman.
It's all good.
So, and I'm going to go with Casey here. When you think of Nightwing, generally the casual comic book fan thinks, oh, that's Robin. He's pretending to be someone better. So I think there's a lot of potential there. You can show that he's actually a great hero and whatnot. But I think that it would become too formulaic. I think it would become too much of a ripoff of like Batman the Animated Series. I think you would really get into some good things there, but in the end, it feels like you're playing second fiddle to Batman still. That you're saying, oh, well, this is the Nightwing show, because we couldn't actually get the rights to Batman because Marvel's not giving that up to Netflix or whatever is going on there. And so, I don't know, I think it would lack the luster that it would deserve. And so I think when you're really getting into it, I think X-Men is the best choice, because while they're having a lot of movies on it, I would not say that it can be counted out.
Another very tough one. All pretty good choices. I like all of them. Nightwing's one of my favorite heroes. Ra's al Ghul is a great villain.
Yeah.
Liam
I seriously
Neeson
didn't know he was
pretty
in
awesome.
Arrow.
I didn't know that either.
Apologies for the spoilers.
It's okay.
It's all good.
I stopped after season 1.
I did too. I saw season 1, which is really good. I actually thought it was good.
You two have failed your city.
Well, probably, because when we were thinking of trying to come up with people who would be good for this thing, I was like, oh, they should do a Green Arrow. And then I was like, oh wait, they already have one of those.
They should do Flash.
They should do Flash. Oh wait, they have one of those too. Black Canary? No, she shows up on Arrow.
Yes.
a lot of people are showing
See,
up.
that's
in
the problem. I think they're covering just about all the first tier and second tier characters.
Yes.
I mean, with the Suicide Squad, I feel like they're covering that second tier of, you know, the villains, and they're kind of
If I could go back and change my answer, I'd do Young Justice though.
Young Justice.
Live action
Young
Young Justice would be a blast.
It's supposed to be coming out, but they've been hush hush on any information lately.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to wonder if it will actually happen.
This is a dumb question, but I just thought of Black Adam. Who's that? He's from.
Black Adam is a villain in the DC universe.
Okay.
He's Shazam's opposite.
Dwayne
Okay.
The Rock Johnson.
That's who people want to
I thought he was cast.
play him.
There are no official castings yet.
No, because there's not an official announced Shazam movie as of yet. No, just a fan casting.
I'm surprised they have still very little on
Type thing.
Aquaman. They just have basically
There's like 2 or 3
the release
people
date and then
cast, and
2. Last time I checked, there was like 2 people cast for.
Yeah, not much on that. That's coming up
Yeah.
fairly quickly. As
There's Star Wars in it.
yeah, apparently, I think as much as a DC person as I am, I like that Tyler brought up how X-Men's very good at addressing different social issues, and it has probably the most appeal, the most mass appeal of everything mentioned, so it would probably do quite well as a TV show, because it's something people kind of know something about, but they don't know a ton about it.
I think you have more casual fans that would gravitate towards that kind of show.
Yes.
Whereas, yeah, Ra's al Ghul
Exactly.
would probably be lost on that. I think Nightwing still would actually have some.
I would love a Ra's al Ghul show, but
I would-
I also am
yeah,
a
personally.
hardcore comics fan. I'm not exactly one to judge mass appeal by.
I've read like one comic with him, and it was just, and then obviously that was after I saw Batman Begins, but I don't know. I just have a
He is
fascination with Liam Neeson, I guess. So
There's a lot of things you can do with that character for sure. Alright, what's your number?
25.
Oh, way down the list.
Yep.
Oh, snap. Okay.
This is the best
This
Jennifer.
No, this is another versus one.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think
So you
how
have to join in on
we
this one.
could do this.
Depending what the topic is, I could be by myself.
It is Batman versus Legolas.
Like, well, I don't know squat about Legolas, so
And
you guys
we're-
can't put me on my own.
We're assuming all these fights take place in a neutral playing field.
Do people have time to research beforehand?
We'll say no,
Okay.
No.
because that gives certain people
Yeah,
a very
fair.
distinct advantage.
Okay.
Well-
Especially Batman being from the
Yeah.
future.
I demand
So,
to be on a team with
Just
someone.
go.
If
We'll
I'm
go
Legolas.
neutral on this.
Well, we could pick a different number since there's not an even number. I mean, that might be the easiest thing.
We could just look at my
Seven.
number. Just 7.
You picked 7.
Yeah.
This is another open-ended one,
Okay.
and we'll
Save that other one for later.
we'll save that one for later. We'll see if we need a tiebreaker round after this one is done. This is gonna be slightly difficult to come up with on the fly, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll just wing
We'll
it.
give you we'll give you a little more time, this one. It might
We're all
be
about
hard to-
spontaneity, aren't
Might
we?
be hard to think of it, but this is assemble the teachers for the best superhero school. They don't necessarily need to be teachers within their comic book universe.
How many do we
but
get?
Just who would be teachers?
Oh, for like each subject, or like just
No, just
kind of.
teaching superhero, like
training.
Like an X-Men school type thing. Like, who would be the ultimate superhero teachers? Or just Nerddom teachers. Take them from anywhere. Just who'd make the best teachers for gifted people.
The gifted
For
youngsters.
gifted
I
young
feel like this is gonna be Tyler's.
Yes.
Tyler's forte.
Gifted
Oh, are
young-
you kidding? I have no idea where to go with this. And they have like superheroes. They can be like a supervillain school.
No, that makes it way too, it's already way open-ended. That just opens a whole nother giant chasm of people to choose from.
Well, I know the villains better. Okay.
Well, then you could do a villain one if you want. We'll say you pick one or the other.
Oh, I can't round out my school. You know,
No.
Severus, he was an evil person. And then you had
Yes.
McGonagall, and it rounded out the whole school.
Well, he wasn't really inherently evil, though. He put on a facade.
Well,
Ultimately.
is Joker
Snape.
inherently evil, or is he just insane?
Well, but that's a whole different thing. Snape doesn't kill people for fun.
Snape was ultimately trying to
No, he doesn't.
appease
Fine.
the Dark Lord and remain kind of.
He's a sleeper agent, basically.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
When you think no.
Basically, he hides until it's his time to come out for the good, and bam, foils the evil plot.
Oh, he's the guy who couldn't get over his high school crush.
Well, that's part of it too, but I still wouldn't call it evil.
I would. The
Misguided.
acts determine the person.
But we can debate that later.
Can we wander into the realm of Harry Potter with this? Or?
Oh yeah, it's all of Nerddom.
Okay.
Harry Potter is definitely encompassed.
'Cause I'm still in a Marvel.
Then I'm venturing into Star Wars too.
Star Wars is up for grabs.
Let me guess. The
Palpatine, the all-powerful.
He's
Of course.
Is he the
Of course,
dean?
that would be. Yes.
Palpatine, the dean of my villain school.
Dean Palpatine. Even rhymes.
We just opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dean
Yes.
Palpatine.
Okay.
Tyler's
One
gonna
more
need a
opening.
half an hour for his.
If
And
I
we'll see
could,
you all next
I would
week.
like to write a thesis on this before presenting my official hour-long summit on the reasons why each of these villains is my top pick for my Academy of Doom.
Yeah, we'll have to do that another time. You'll have to keep it shorter than that for now.
Okay.
We'll give you, we'll say 5 minutes for this one if you need it.
Just 5.
Yes.
Okay, so how large does our staff have to be?
We'll limit it to, I don't know, 3.
Our top,
So hard.
the top 3 most
Yeah, your
tenured.
top 3.
Okay.
Yes. Top
Okay.
3 tenured professors.
Okay.
Or 2 if you don't want 3. Whatever you want to do. These will be the foundation of said school you're assembling.
Ooh, this is tough.
Yeah, we'll just assume anyone can get teacher training at this point. Don't need to pick people who actually teach in any sort of capacity. You just think they would make a good teacher, you can pick them and explain why they would be a good teacher. You don't need to be a mentor of some capacity in their universe.
We know one already.
No, you don't.
Oh, maybe not.
This is gonna be a really random staff when I get to
Hey,
play.
it's all good.
I have one.
You have one.
I might have 2 to 1.
I'm having trouble
Do
with
you have
it
any
myself.
in mind?
Yeah, but I've gone first every time.
That's
so
true.
I'm staying quiet until
You
everybody
have
else
gone
goes.
first every time. You have the answer fastest
Okay.
every time.
So, since we opened it up to evil, I would have the Academy of
You can
Evil
have
or
your-
the Academy of Doom.
I like the Academy of Doom.
Academy of
Or the
Doom.
College of Doom.
Or the College of Doom. But as far as this goes, okay, I have certain people that within their universes are immensely evil, and they're very well known for being evil.
Yes.
But I have specific reasons to why I would pick them
as teachers.
and not other people from their respective universes.
Got it.
Okay. Now, as we go through this, the first person that I'm going to pick is from Star Wars, but it is not Palpatine.
Okay.
And I'm picking Darth Plagueis rather than Palpatine for a specific reason. Because Palpatine, while he did have many different apprentices, and he did train them in order to become powerful in the dark side, he always left them with a fatal flaw, so that he could still be able to manipulate them, to be able to conquer them, control them. He
Oh, yes.
forced Darth Vader into the suit so that he would be able to still be able to defeat Darth Vader. However, Darth Plagueis was the one who decided that he was going to end the rule of two, that he was going to begin training more people, but he was training them to become his equals. He was not ever training them to keep them in his
The
own
inferior.
servitude.
Yeah.
So he was the one who was able to train Palpatine into becoming the Dark Lord of the Sith, the ruler of the galaxy. He was able to train him to become a master politician. He was able to train him to become the most powerful being in the entire universe. His powers are immense. He's able to do so much that no one else can even fathom. His ability in the dark side was to the point where he was able to close the gap and master every single part of the dark side. Even to the point where it's hinted at the end of the book, Darth Plagueis, that he could achieve immortality if he had been able to live longer. And so at that kind of a teacher, you would have the greatest evil minds ever underneath his tutelage. Now, the second person that I would add to my roster is another famous evil person. Okay, and this evil person has got to be Lord Voldemort. Okay, now Lord Voldemort is a wonderful, wonderful teacher. He's very brilliant. He's very charismatic. He's able to rally people to his cause, and he's able to understand the manipulations and fine machinations that have to take place in order to get people to stay loyal. He was able to use the Imperious Curse and his manipulations of his people to not just overtake the government, but then also make people believe that the government was still working, so that there was no flaw. They thought the ministry was might, that was how it was supposed to be. Even though the mentors were flying through the streets, everyone knew Voldemort had taken over, the general populace that weren't affiliated with Harry Potter were still thinking that the ministry was in control and fighting Lord Voldemort, leaving him free to do whatever he wanted. He was a survivor. He made the ability to split his soul, even though I don't have a soul, into 7 different pieces and store them around the globe.
It's ironic that you should speak on that.
It's ironic I should speak on this, okay? But he was able to do all this, and he wouldn't have ever died had he not also had the fatal flaw of choosing Harry Potter to be his counter nemesis or whatever. He is also ruthless, and he is also someone who enjoys the punishment and evil that he has. And so embodying that for his students would inspire them to become even more malicious and evil.
Got a
Now-
minute and a half.
Oh, how can you limit me? No! So then I would also have to try and pick someone to kind of balance out their intense intellectualism and their just raw power.
Be a lot to take
And
in.
so I think someone to be able to do that, because they are such mysterious and ethereal people, that I would have to balance them out with Lex Luthor. Now, Lex Luthor is a self-made person, and he is someone who periodically fights people who are much stronger than him, and he still comes out on top. And he is able to inspire fear and political guile and monetary superiority to everyone. And his intellect is such to the point that he is able to absorb the death code from the universe, so that he could actually stop Darkseid from destroying the planet. Now, he is someone who would be able to help every student at every level see that their abilities to perform the most evil atrocities the world has ever seen is possible, no matter the obstacles. no matter what kind of superhero you're fighting against, you have Superman against you. Guess what? I'm a normal human. I've defeated Superman on several different occasions. You can do anything you set your mind to. Between those three people, you would have the greatest tutelage of evil ever.
Yes, we would be in trouble if such a school ever existed.
Can I like add 7 people to my roster?
Oh, I'm sure you've got them all stored up.
That was intense.
It was. You
Okay.
ready with yours?
I got 2 of them, but we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna kind of wing it. My first one is, this is really way out there. It's from the Harry Potter universe. I'm going with Neville Longbottom, and this is why I'm going with Neville. I don't know what he would teach, but I know he'd be on my staff. I think throughout the Harry Potter series, I think he's an incredible example of courage and starting with very little confidence. You know, his parents were brutally tortured and by Bellatrix Lestrange. He had a lot of insecurities to overcome. He was obviously picked on, but you see throughout the progression through years 1 through 7. You know, year 7, he's just completely different. You know, he's courageous. He even destroys one of the Horcruxes, Nagini, I believe. And he, personally, I think his development throughout
He does. He kills the snake. Remember?
Oh, Nagini.
Nagini, whatever.
I
Nagini.
think she said the genie, and I was like, there is no genie, honey.
I knew what he was talking about.
Nagini, the serpent. But
Yes.
I think he would be fantastic. I wanted to kind of go outside the box, not just do Ron or Harry
Yes.
or Hermione. So I think and plus he's very intellectually smart.
He develops.
I think he knows a lot
in the
more.
series.
He does develop quite a bit, and he stands up for what he believes in. And I think he was a pretty big part in Dumbledore's army, wasn't he? He was kind of led that with Harry, didn't he?
I don't know if in the movies he doesn't get quite as much credit as
Yeah.
he probably should.
I think he gets more recognition in the books, but I think and he is very much, equivalent to Harry Potter. He could have been the chosen one. Like, he has a very similar, upbringing. So I think his experience and his courage, and I think that would play well as one of my staff members for my school. The other one, I'd have to go a little more classic, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just very steadfast in the ways of the Force. He's very, very patient. Whether it's with his Padawans or kind of run out of ideas now. But no, he's very, very much a mentor to, I think, a lot of different, not just Anakin and Luke, but there are a lot of other characters that looked to Obi-Wan as kind of the rock. Like, he was very, I don't know how to say it, very, I don't know, couldn't be shaken. Like, he was very, reliable, very firm. He was not gonna make some wild decision. He had a very even, very level-headed, and he was also very, very intellectually smart as well. So those would have to be my 2. It's a little bit challenging to assemble
It's a tough question.
school, but
Yes, those are 2 pretty awesome picks.
Alright, so first I'd have to go with a very classic one, Professor X. Like, how could you guys leave Professor X out of your list?
Because he's not a bad guy.
I'll give you that. But
I had trouble with this one.
Professor X, he's the classic teacher. Like, he started a school. He got these people to believe in themselves. Like, you can't ask for a better teacher that already has training as a teacher. Then after Professor X, I'd have to go with, say, Luke Skywalker. Again, you can't really ask for a better teacher. The guy learned the Force, and both of his mentors died in front of him, and he had to take what he learned and pass it on to not only the generation after him, but his own generation and the generation after them. He was a teacher his entire life after he started the Jedi Order. And in the legacy books, at least, he never really stops teaching, even when he's way past when he should be. And he takes it to the point where Yoda did and was teaching all the way up to his death.
It's definitely commitment.
Yeah, and he's the most powerful person alive at the time. Right? He's got the power, he's got the experience, firsthand knowing what to do with the Force, how to use it, how to interact with other people, and present yourself as a Jedi. Let's see, who else would I go with? I really want to say Batman, but I think he'd be a terrible teacher because you see how he is in the comics. He's more of a reluctant teacher. At least at times he's a reluctant teacher.
He teaches.
He's more an innovator,
Teaches on
more an
occasion.
not entrepreneur, but like a.
He trains 4 Robins.
One of them's reluctant though. He doesn't even want to have anything to do with Damien for a while.
Yeah, which is understandable when your child's a murdering psychopath.
True. So yeah, I just have to stick with those two. If I had more time to think about it, I'd have came up with a lot more. But
I think we did alright on the spot.
I mean, you could really go with any Jedi Master. Yeah.
This is true.
Fiend.
Done. Nice. Alright. Another tough one. Lots of good choices made. The Academy of Doom.
Not just the random academy.
Yeah, the
Neville Longbottom and
hero.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The hero.
They're both
academy.
heroes
Yes.
in their own sense.
Yes.
Be honest here, if this is Tri-Wizarding tournament, my school would win.
Yeah. Mm.
We would cheat, but we would win.
The evil
We
win
at
the
all
battle.
costs.
Yes. That would be the school's motto. Winning at all costs. Yes. It would be a horrible football team to face.
Be painful.
Yes. Be painful.
Be fatal.
Let's be honest, we'd get banned from the league.
Sure.
We'd have
Last
to get
maybe
liability
one-
insurance.
Today, in the first and only football game for the Doom Academy, 12 are dead.
12 are dead, the rest are critically injured. On the plus side, our team took home a touchdown. We're good.
Well, thank goodness that's not our next question.
Yes.
We don't have to assemble a football team.
Yeah.
The Nerddom
Yeah, that would
universe.
take forever. I wouldn't even know where to go with that. I don't know enough about football to assemble a football team.
I think I'd excel in that, but I don't know. You'd have to take away everyone's superpowers.
Yes.
Oh, that would make it hard.
Well, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
And then
but-
again, you couldn't make it very neat.
Yeah, it'd be hard to even it out.
The whole
Superheroes.
Everyone would choose the whole
Yes.
plot.
Give them the ball and run. Although you just have Superman on the other team.
Oh no, you gotta go with the Flash. He could
Or
just steal the
the
ball
Flash.
and
Yeah,
go.
just run. Yeah. There'd be a lot of ways to go with that question. I don't know.
You guys ever see that one video on YouTube with all the like things from all over different Nerddom spheres playing soccer?
Yes. That's good
amazing.
stuff. Yeah,
I've
that
seen
was
it.
pretty. That wasn't too long ago.
Another one
That
I
came
think I
out.
posted.
Yeah.
The soccer.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was on the team, which was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that was a slight tangent here. That was made by a YouTube channel called Dark Pixel, and I met them up at Comic-Con and talked to them for a while. They're pretty awesome dudes. If you haven't gone to their channel, you should check it out. They do lots of pretty awesome stuff. They do all their own special effects and costuming. Just a bunch of nerds up in Provo, but they're working now on getting the budget together for an indie film. Their goal is to make video game movies that don't suck, which is a cause I definitely support, because we haven't really gotten any of those yet.
Amen.
But anyway, go check out Dark Pixel on YouTube. They're awesome. All right, back to the tough decision I must make. It's hard to Tyler's being very different than the other two. It makes it very hard to judge.
The goals of my academy are very different from the
You
others.
just have to decide if you want a soul or not.
Compare it
Do you want to go to school and have your
the
soul?
other two.
Hey, for some of us, we don't have to go get toodled by a what a wonderful word, toodled.
Toodles.
Yes.
By a Jedi Master. We just need a
Tutelage.
Sith Lord to point us in the right direction.
Or for those that have their soul, Voldemort will quickly.
We'll show you how to rupture it, fracture it, shove it
Put it
into
in
objects,
something else.
and then live forever.
Yes.
Voldemort must have been a ginger before he lost his hair.
I'm pretty sure there's a Tom Riddle in the
He's
Chamber of
got dark.
Secrets.
He's got dark hair in
Yeah.
the movie. He just
He must have
The
learned
ginger at
from a
heart.
ginger.
Yeah. Maybe at that orphanage he was at, he knew a ginger.
Little Annie. She taught him how to steal souls.
That's disturbing.
Oh,
Just ruined child movies.
yes. And there's people's version of Annie is now destroyed.
Yes, little Annie.
They'll never be able to
Annie.
look at Annie the
Why?
same.
Taught Voldemort how to steal souls.
Oh god. That is
Is she the one with all the
yes, that is little orphan Annie. One with all the freckles.
It's a hard knock life for us.
So she got everyone to rally behind her and slowly stole all their souls. That was her goal from the beginning. Alright.
That took a wild turn.
Yes, it did. So, this one's tough. I think I will go with Braden's on this one.
Oh.
He gave very clear, concise answer.
I'm not even mad.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
it's
as
good.
far as good
It's
guys
hard to
go,
go.
they would be great people to learn from.
They would. You can't get a lot better. I mean, Professor X is a pretty obvious but
Yeah, that was
also
good.
amazing choice.
Not as though he
And then Luke Skywalker, he is.
Sorry,
very
I didn't
good.
turn in my homework because I was busy.
And then
oh
you're like-
yeah, I know exactly what
You were
doing.
binge watching on Netflix last night. I know.
How dare you lie to me?
You can't lie to me. I'm Professor X. Oh. And that leaves us with a tie.
Yes.
Say what?
It's a
It's
tie.
a three-way tie.
I won the first
So-
one, you won the second, the X-Men spin-off TV series, and Brandon just won the school.
Yes. So we must do a tiebreaker question.
Okay.
And I think for this one,
We're gonna draw that one?
yeah, we'll
Or should you just...
thinking. We'll actually. I think I got a pretty good one
Okay.
for this. We will do a. Would this work? We'll give it we'll give it a shot. We'll do a three-way versus battle. Each person will be arguing for 1 point. One
Okay.
person. One person. So
Is this the best Jennifer?
no.
No.
No, I'm not doing any one of
You
those.
voted this
No.
against me.
I'm not doing any of those.
Give Tyler J-Lo.
No.
Because
Pick-
she's hot,
Who
maybe?
gets, whoever picks the highest number will get to pick
To choose.
first. Choose
Oh,
the
lame.
hero they're backing first. What did you get?
4.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
unlikely to win.
15.
That's pretty high.
5.
Yes.
You still beat Tyler. Okay, so the choices are, this is Chewbacca versus Beast versus
Beast, like,
Beast from X-Men.
okay.
The giant blue
I was thinking
intelligent
something
monster
way different.
from X-Men versus the Thing
I
from
have to choose
Fantastic Four.
Chewbacca. That's the only one I know, somewhat. I don't know much about his backstory, but.
You don't really need to know the backstory. It's just beating people up. They don't
Okay.
need a backstory.
Cool, well, I choose Chewbacca.
And you're left with the Beast or the Thing.
I'll choose the Beast. You
Beast.
get the phone.
Tyler gets the Thing. Who's actually a lot cooler than the movies ever portrayed.
So what do we
Can't
have to
go
do?
by
Is
those.
argue our point that,
Argue why yours is
well,
would be the champion.
who goes first? Should the last go first?
I think if the last person goes last, it gives them more of a chance to think.
Okay.
Unless you actually, we'll just let you pick. You could go first or last since you picked last. Which would you rather do?
I'd like to go last.
Okay, then we'll just go in.
Same order?
Yeah, we'll just go in reverse, or yeah. the same.
Oh, wow. I guess I chose someone that's just there's so much. I don't know where to start. Chewbacca, obviously one of the most recognizable Star Wars characters. I think everyone at one point or another has tried to do a Wookiee cry.
Yes.
He's such a great, not even sidekick, he's a hero in his own sense, in that he's Han Solo's best friend, but he's also, you have that comic relief with him. You have, he's an entirely, such an interesting concept. Like the Wookiee race is just kind of, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know how to argue this. He's Chewbacca.
He rips people's arms off.
Yeah, he's.
When
He gets
loses
the
it,
crossbow. He's honest. He's lovable. He's furry. I'm pretty sure he's probably I don't know. I would have to say he's the most beloved species, and probably the most beloved species in Star Wars. I would have to, for most people. And I just think
Why would he win in a fight though?
Why would he win in a fight?
Why would he beat these other people?
Well, I think he has.
Gives him an edge.
I think Wookiees. I think they are very. I'm kind of shooting in the dark here because I don't know much about the Wookiee race. I know they were used as slaves to. Does it build a Death Star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of
So-
things.
So they do
They're
have.
definitely strong.
They do have that brute strength, but at the same time, they're warriors. You see and I so wish that Revenge of the Sith would have extended the battle on Kashyyyk.
No.
You see how much of they're just warriors. You have them throwing grenades onto, Imperial ship. They're just
They were smart.
they're
Battle tactics.
I think they're a lot smarter than most casual people give them credit for. There's more to them. I don't know. I mean, he's just,
He's,
and
he's the mighty Chewbacca.
he has a
He's
crossbow.
even known as that.
Yeah.
in the universe.
Mighty Chewbacca, and kind of like Groot or like these characters that don't say much, they still have a lot of depth to them. They still, you fall in love with them, you become attached to them. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, I thought that was really unprepared, but
On the
it's just
fly
it's Chewbacca. Yeah.
On the fly is difficult. Alright.
Alright, so I chose the Beast because he's definitely the most intelligent out of the three. I mean, this guy has IQ surpassing anybody you can think of that's not comic book. He is super intelligent, so I have a feeling he'd sit back, let Chewbacca and the Thing tear each other apart, and then come in with a very calculated strategy that he's devised while watching them rip each other to shreds and take out whoever wins out of those two. He's got the strength of an ape, so he has that going for him. Also, I don't really know much about the Beast either, other than he is extremely intelligent.
Yeah, I feel like I should know more about Chewbacca. Being
He-
Chewbacca.
Yeah, I could have done Chewbacca pretty easily,
Yeah. Yes.
but yeah, the Beast's intelligence will lead him to the win.
Leading to victory. You're up. Ginger.
So, I'll be honest in saying that I think this is just no contest that the Thing would actually win this fight. Like, sure, the Beast probably has him outmatched in IQ, but it's not as though he's dumb. He hangs out with Reed Richards. He's a scientist. He was an astronaut in some versions. He's a U.S. Air Force pilot. He is able to hold his own. He's a very professional street fighter. He is very capable of making very sound judgments in a tight situation. As far as Chewbacca's concerned, Chewbacca could probably outrun him, but he can't outstrength him in any way, shape, or form. Depending on which version you're looking at, he goes toe-to-toe with the Hulk on several occasions. And the Hulk is the strongest there is. And he's able to withstand hits from the Hulk, and he's able to repound and beat the Hulk back and things like that. So as far as this goes, he could probably just stand there like a mountain and these two would be hanging off of him trying to get him to move. And he'd be like, oh, are you guys trying to do something? Here, let me throw you through this building right now. Okay? I honestly don't know what his intelligence would be able to bring to the fight other than, hey, I know what I need to do and you're gonna do this so I can counter and punch you in the face and launch you through the next street. And I think, which is interesting, that he also has this kind of, well, he's not really that great of a superhero because he's been portrayed in movies as like kind of dopey, and he's got this orange foam costume and he's got this CGI rock exterior going on and whatnot. But he really is a very great superhero. And as I go through each of these things, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, he's an all-around great guy. Ben Grimm is a fantastic person. One of his aliases is Breaker of Souls, so he, you know, automatically wins in my book. But there's a version of him that is immortal, and he only ages when he's human, and so they travel 2,000 years into the future, and he's still around, and he just gets stronger as time goes on. And so he's probably gonna win any fight you throw at him, unless it's up against Thor or the Hulk, because really, if you start listing out the strong characters, he's gotta be right up near the top.
Timed that just about perfect that time. Nice. crazy hard decisions. This is tough. People are all pretty up there in their respected universes as far as strength goes. And yeah, I don't know. Lots of good points were brought up. Chewbacca does rip people's arms off, but that would be tough to do against someone made of rock.
They're not actually gonna.
You can't really rip off limbs of the thing.
But he could rip the limbs off of the beast.
Yeah, that he could. It's definitely possible. But yeah, I don't know. I think Tyler argued his point pretty well. The Thing does take on the Hulk. It's pretty hard to argue with that. He does. It's one of the more iconic comics from the golden age of comics. Was the throwdown between the Hulk and the Thing. Pretty epic issue. The fact that he could even actually be an opponent, much less survive the Hulk's onslaughts, is pretty amazing.
It's like, how did he not become Pebbles after the second hit?
But now, somehow he makes it through. So I think I'll have to give it to the Souls one.
Yes. The Breaker of Souls wins.
Yeah. The Breaker of Souls. Yes. So that was the first round of Geek Fights. The winner goes to the Ginger.
The Ginger forever.
But he'll have to defend his belt coming in later weeks when we do Nerddom Fights number 2. People
Looking forward to it. It was
Yes.
fun.
Absolutely.
Yes, this was
Strained by Nerddom brain.
yes, this was quite fun. We'll have to see who wants to mediate the next one so that I can be a participant the next time around.
I'll mediate the next one.
It's like, I'll
Sounds-
mediate, that way I don't have to give up my belt on a technicality.
Yeah, no, we're not letting you off that easy.
Yeah.
We'll have Casey
I'll
mediate the next one. That sounds good to me.
Looking forward to hearing what you guys say.
Oh yeah.
Well, some of those are tough.
Oh yeah. They were quite
Just
tough.
Chewbacca, I was like, wait, what do I actually know about Chewie?
He
He's
rides in
Han
a
Solo.
spaceship with Han Solo.
Oh yeah. It's hard to come up with
It does
stuff
take
on
a
the
whole
fly.
planet to kill Chewbacca, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
He does get, although that's legend now, so who knows how he'll die this time around. But yes.
Legend is rivalry the truth.
Oh, but
Watch him die of old age in this movie.
That's probably what's gonna happen. It's gonna make me mad.
yeah, he's got to
He's
have an
Chewbacca,
epic
he's-
death.
yeah,
He's
he
the mighty
deserves-
Chewbacca.
He deserves the epic death.
But he's got to be, what, like 80 years old now?
Peter Mayhew's like 78,
he's-
79, I think.
He's getting up there, but Wookiees live a while. They got a
Yoda's
longer lifespan.
600 like some years old.
I thought he was close to 900 by the time he died.
Yeah, he was 900.
Yeah,
What was it?
20 something, I think.
I don't know if you get an exact. Do you? I know you get that he's in
You
his
can get
900.
like, yeah, you can get like the decade, I think, if you add up the years between films. But yeah, I don't know anymore if that's legend or if it's still canon. It's hard to keep track of that anymore.
Peter Mayhew's 71. That was a little off.
If Chewbacca lasts much longer, they might have to get another Chewbacca.
Yeah.
He's barely made it through the filming of this one, I think. I don't know how much longer he'll be around. But that will do us for tonight.
Like and subscribe. Links
What's
are
next
in
week?
Everything.
I think next week was our journey into The Force Awakens, right?
I think it's
Episode
episode 5, my favorite.
Yes, the highlights
Yes.
of our journey.
Oh, it's gonna be epic.
Oh, so So many good scenes.
Be sure to tune in. We will see you next week.
Number 6.
Of course you'd like that better. Why that doesn't surprise me at all.
anybody here.
Hey, it might surprise someone at home.
It might.
Probably.
Alright, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.